Welcome to Bonus Bushels. This week's episode, we're going to talk about herbicides and application timings.
Absolutely. We're going to circle back to our Waterford plot and some of the demos we did there. The one thing that that we did was the off-label herbicide application to kind of create, arrested ear syndrome and see if we could affect grain fill and what had happened to ear development from there. So go through a little bit about what we did, and then maybe I'll go through a little bit about what happened.
So every year, Doug, you and I get the phone call. Hey, corn's waist high, shoulder high. I can still get my rig through there. Can we just spray Roundup on it, clean it up?
But it's Roundup Ready corn.
It shouldn't hurt anything. Well, guys, don't do that. Number one, it's off-label. We don't do that. So what we did is we came out here, made an off-label application on about 1/8 of an acre on purpose. Corn was almost tasseling. Shot some Roundup over the top of it. Wanted to see what would happen. See if we could kind of force that response to the herbicide like we thought we'd see. So after we did that, we waited till, the first part of grain fill, and we could easily see what was going on with that.
Yeah, when we had our field day here September 1st, we were able to see at that point what had actually taken place. Mm-hmm. And what we're kind of holding here today is some of the ears that were affected by that application. And I think the main focal point of this whole demo is to prove that regardless of herbicide, regardless of crop, you need to always read and follow label directions. So if that label says 36 inches on corn, it means 36 inches. If that label says R1 on soybeans, it means R1. If it says R2, and now Jonah, with the things that are happening in the soybean world, with XtendFlex soybeans getting approved, now we have the Enlist platform also. Yep. Those herbicides have different timings, and we need to be
mindful of
what's going on there. So.
Yeah, I know I have this year, and I think maybe you've mentioned it to me. I had some growers make some off-label applications this year on their soybeans. Well, hey, it doesn't look like there's any issues. You get out there, you start walking it, and you see all these little aborted flowers or aborted pods. You start looking at that. It doesn't take very long for these plants to start losing yield at that point from these off-label applications. Corn is very easy to see. You don't even have to try to look for that. Yeah. Beans a little bit tougher. You got to open the canopy up, look at the ground, look for certain things, but you can still see it when they make those off-label applications.
Absolutely, but back to the corn, without getting in and walking in the crop, you won't see this because these right here came from plants that look perfectly healthy from 10 feet away.
Oh yeah, we had to peel back the husk. Yeah.
Yep. And I think that's, like I say, that's the take-home message. Regardless of crop, regardless of herbicide, always read and follow label directions and make those applications timely. One of the other demos we had here at the plot as we talked through the whole season here is the starter demo, the in-furrow piece of higher level management versus no in-furrow starter. And one of the things that we've saw throughout the whole year is this corn that's had the in-furrow treatment has been primarily a growth stage ahead. So we wanted to come out here today and see where we were as far as grain moisture and grain fill, and we had some pretty cool findings based off what we were seeing.
So also when we looked at it, we saw high management versus low management. And you're looking at it, you're like, man, the high management is still greener, a lot healthier plants. It's going to definitely be wetter, we thought. We're going to have wet grain here. We're going to be waiting for an extra week to shell this stuff out. So we went ahead and pulled the ears randomly. Doug pulled some, I pulled some, whatever, brought them back to the tailgate. And surprise, surprise, it's what you and I thought, but it's not what everybody else would think.
Yeah, our high management block is 0.6 of a point drier right now than what the lower management block is. And one thing that's cool, we use a mini GAC Plus, and it gives us a test weight reading. The high management block is shown to be 2.5 pounds heavier on test weight right now. So we're there again. We'll take everything clear out to when the combine gets here, but it's a cool story for now.
Kind of exciting.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we normally expect to see this. This is a good, 10 or 12 around possibly, and obviously severely infested with disease, which is about normal you would see in an Intermax product. So,
but overall, we're pretty happy with it, aren't we? I mean, that's something we can take, harvest, great grain quality for livestock guys.
Probably a great ear corn if you had a 1-row picker and needed some stuff for squirrels, maybe put on your nail.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
Thanks.